New York's Yeshiva University asked Supreme Court to allow block of LGBTQ plus club. One of New York's Jewish colleges is refusing to establish a Pride Alliance club, despite court orders encouraging them to do so. Yeshiva University filed an emergency request with the Supreme Court on Monday, seeking to block a court order that requires the New York University to recognize a Pride Alliance LGBTQ student club. The school says, quote, "As a deeply religious Jewish university, we cannot comply with the order. It would violate our sincere religious beliefs about how to form our undergraduate students in Torah values," end quote. Lawyers representing the university argue that the lower court's order is an intrusion into their religious beliefs and a violation of their First Amendment rights. The Supreme Court has asked for a response to the school's petition by Friday. The New York Court of Appeals refused to review the denial of a stay, prompting school officials to petition the High Court, but it has not yet ruled on the merits of the dispute. I know a ton of LGBTQ plus folks that are also Jewish that follow by the Torahs just fine. Why is this club such a big burden to them? Who is this club bothering by it being active?
Well, I mean, religious discrimination is, religious-backed discrimination is state-backed discrimination. And they are expecting society to conform to religion, and it should be the other way around. Religion needs to conform to society. And they are, this is the first time I've heard of a Jewish university doing this. But I mean, we hear almost every other week we're sitting at this table doing a story on, Texas, obviously, or, religious places in Virginia or Northern California.
Been to Florida, by the way? Have you been to Florida?
I've never been. Is it good?
Well, sometimes.
Yeah. My point is, let people learn. Let people be gay, because they're going to learn, and they're gay already.
And it's mostly the private schools that do stuff like this.
Yeah, they're still having an issue trying to get into, make public schools conform to religious values. But we're on the way already.
Another question becomes, do you want them to be Jewish? Do you want them to follow the religion? Do you want them, whether they're gay or not? Isn't the commitment the religion and teaching the Torah? Or what is the commitment? Controlling? See, it's starting to remind me of some of the other things that are happening in the world right now. I think we're getting lost. We're getting lost in what the commitment is and the focus.
Well, Yeshiva is a very obviously deeply religious school and harkens to those deep values of the Torah, but actually they're not really living the values of the Torah, are they? They're kind of doing the opposite, what they perceive the values of the Torah to be. But I think I was thinking earlier that we could change the name and call them Yeshiva, and then we could just turn it all around.
You're welcome for me waiting so long, by the way. Where they're also deeply from a Jewish faith, where they're deeply religious. It's called Israel. Tel Aviv is arguably the best capital. They're not the capital, but the best large city in Europe, or in Western Europe, sitting in Israel. And Israel itself is very LGBT embracing. The army became universalist for LGBT far beyond the United States or other places. This is not an issue of Jewish faith. This is an issue of religious zealotry. There is a difference in terms of what is going on. And the other thing that I think is really interesting, I always like to apply the standard of the legal argument that they're doing. The legal argument that they are appealing for an emergency hearing at the Supreme Court to allow them to do this, it is contradictory to the values of the teachings of our church, of our university. I think, let's get into a time machine and go back to 1968 and allow them to file the exact same claim on the organization, because remember, we're talking about a student club, not official teaching, a student organizational right to organize and assemble at Yeshiva, if they did the exact same thing in 1968 against a black student union. The Supreme Court would crush them in terms of the interpretation of preventing a black student union at Yeshiva. Or it's 1975, and this little organization files to form the Yeshiva Organization of Women. The Supreme Court would crush you if you did that. You are using religion to hide behind your racism and your discriminatory beliefs, and you hide in your Jewish faith. Israel doesn't agree with you, and neither does Queer News Tonight. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.